be critical.
Thank you for joining us today, and I hope to see you again at our future events.
My name's Egea. I'd like to welcome you to tonight's lecture. But first I'd like to respectively acknowledge the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation as the traditional owners and custodians of the land which we stand. We pay respects to their elders, both past and present. So welcome to a series of the Affinity Evening Lecture series. As I said, my name's Egea, Dr Egea. I'm from UTS Sydney, Senior Lecturer there, and I'm a member of the Affinity Advisory Board. And for those of you who have never attended an Affinity event, let me briefly introduce you to the organisation. Affinity was formed by a group of young Muslims, Australians, in 2000. Their aim is, and was then, but is now as well, to promote multiculturalism and foster intercultural and interfaith dialogue by building bridges between different groups in society. We've got this fabulous video to come along to just give you an idea what that all means. And the 2019 New South Wales Iftar Parliament Friendship and Dialogue Dinner is coming up on the video.
There are so many high calibre people attending here, and I'm sure a lot of you have sort of met each other and looked around the room. To begin our program, I'd like to call on Walangari Kantawara to present the acknowledgement of country.
Ramadan Mubarak. I would like to acknowledge the Aboriginal First Nations people of the Sydney area, the Eora Nation.
Learn one new thing tonight and take that away and tell someone else.
This blessed month of Ramadan is a great chance for all of us to come together in peace and harmony. Thank you for not letting hate or fear and division infiltrate New South Wales. And on behalf of the New South Wales Government, I'd just like to wish you a blessed Ramadan. Thank you.
Amit and your executive committee and your volunteers and your sponsors and the many people, you're the only one that I know that can be able to bring everyone together, and you do a fantastic job. So I'm very, very happy to be here co-hosting with Minister Sidoti.
And our final host for this evening is Amit Polat. Now, I would hazard a guess that about half of you in this room would say you're Amit's cousin.
I greet you with the Islamic greetings of Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you. Ramadan Mubarak to all of you. I have impatiently been waiting for tonight to share my DNA results. It appears that I am from all 6 continents in the world. What a delightful Turkish delight. I'm linked to all humanity. So tonight, standing in front of you, I can proudly say, you are my all new cousins, uncles, aunties.
On behalf of the Advisory Board of Affinity Intercultural Foundation, I welcome you all to this warm and inclusive friendship and dialogue iftar dinner.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
On behalf of the Consulate General of Sri Lanka in Sydney, I would like to thank Affinity Intercultural Foundation for inviting to the New South Wales Parliament Friendship and Dialogue Ramadan to start today.
على ما هداكم ولعلكم تشكرون.
The power of sport, when used to give a voice to the voiceless, strength to the downtrodden, and rights to the persecuted, is extraordinary. It can truly and evidently challenge governments, monarchies, and anything in between. Yes, I feel a part of this great country, and I feel welcomed and respected, just like Hakeem.
Hi everyone. I would like to thank Ahmed to invite me here, and Ramadan Mubarak to everyone.
Now this is Ahmet's holding up a top, which has been a jersey signed by Hakan for you, Craig, and on it the message says, "To my brother Craig, who strives to help his fellow football players at difficult times and shows an example to the football community that freedom and human values may be bigger than football."
But we owe it to the victims of these attacks to work together to find the cure. And it seems to me that a good place to start is right here in this room to help us break down walls by breaking bread together. Ramadan Mubarak.
This year, the recipients of the first award are Sean Rubenstein Dunlop, investigative reporter at the ABC, and Lucy Carter, researcher at Four Corners ABC, for their incredible work on the Four Corners episode, which was called Under the Radar. This followed the Christchurch terror attacks, which claimed the lives of 50 people.
The most important thing, I believe, it focused on building relationships with people in our region, and their relationships of mutual respect and friendship. And we discover that our lives have purpose and meaning, and its purpose is wanting and working so that others may flourish. Friends, Ramadan Kareem.
Whether that be cultural diversity, religion, gender, disability, Indigenous, income, age, geography, or socio-economic backgrounds, the media can and should play a role in stimulating positive and balanced discussion on issues related to all of these, including Ramadan, that many Australians we know partake in.
A night like this is not possible without dozens of local businesses and individuals funding many of Affinity's programs and events. Would like to thank those sponsors now and present to them some tokens.
But it doesn't matter how well we do or don't do, it is that spirit of Ramadan, a tradition of self-reflection, of gratitude, forgiveness, respect, understanding. All the speakers before me have mentioned elements of that, and this is where Ramadan is beautiful. It is that spiritual connection. And as we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them. And with that in mind, I'd like to thank everyone for attending this evening. It is through the shared meaning, purpose, and experience that the bonds of friendship, understanding, and unity are forged. Ramadan Mubarak. Good evening to you.
So tonight's program is the first in a series titled the Alan Knight Media Lecture Series, in the honour of my late husband, Professor Alan Knight. formerly head of the Graduate School of Journalism at UTS, and advisory member of Affinity. In this role, Alan stood for true, reliable and democratic values of media underpinned by human rights, universal rights. The series draws on this focus, looking at media, dialogue and social cohesion. Now, I was going to talk a little bit about Alan, but I think maybe we've got not enough time for that, have we? Time? Just stay a little bit? Okay. I thought I might just give you a little background to Alan and maybe see where the series comes. Before becoming an academic in 1990, he worked as a reporter, a ministerial public relations staffer and an executive producer, a lot with the ABC. But it's his early work in industrial reporting that is acknowledged today by the Walkley Foundation. In fact, there's an award under the title of the Helen Flynn and Alan Knight Award for Best Industrial Reporting. And that was created by a partnership of Media Entertainment Alliance unions and the Australian Council of Trade Unions and some private donations. And the award states, and I think this summarises where the focus is, this All Media Award recognises outstanding journalism that captures the importance of robust industrial ecosystems for Australian workers and businesses, as well as its complexities. Alan was a very private man and would have been humbled by this acknowledgement, as he would be by this series. So, I would like to introduce you to today's facilitator, Dr Helen Vasikopoulos. I said it right? Yes. Who worked with Alan as well in the School of Journalism at UTS. A little bit about Helen. Helen is a Walkley Award winner, journalist as well, who worked for the Australian Broadcasting Commission, the Australian Network and the Special Broadcasting Service. In a career spanning 30 years, she has worked on programs such as ABC News, the Midday Report, the 7:30 Report, Dateline, Lateline, the Foreign Correspondence. In that time, she specialised in international reporting and has covered history-changing events like the fall of the Berlin Wall, the collapse of communism, the say the word for me. Rwandan, thank you. Rwandan genocide, the HIV/AIDS crisis in West Papua, the Sri Lankan Civil War, the assassination of Rajiv Gandhi, and the Bali bombings, among many others. Her reporting on the collapse of the USSR won her the coveted Walkley Award. Helen has presented many studio-based television programs, including Face the Press, News Extra, Talking Heads, Dateline for SBS, the 7:30 News, and the Midday Report for ABC One, and Asia Pacific Focus for the Australian Network. She's also made 3 documentaries, the New World Borders, and award-winning documentaries, Atticus Curse and Getting Gary. Helen completed her Doctorate of Creative Arts in 2018, where she investigated the notions of identity and nationalism from her family's involvement and perception of the Greek Civil War. Please join me in welcoming Helen to the lectern.